Hey everyone, hey Candid Culture, how are you doing? Thank you for tuning in. I know there's a lot of competition out here, so let's get it going. Woo, the hurricane landed last night. Hey Misha, I love the hair.
Thanks, girl.
I'm getting my braids
I'm
done.
like, I'm ready. I'm ready to take it down, but I don't have the energy to take it down. So this is what it is.
You sound like me. I'm getting mine back next week, and I'm like, but I just don't feel like it. Like that's what, but when it comes to the
Right.
teardown, I just like, oh gosh, here we go. Yep, that's exactly how I get. That's exactly how I get. Who do you want to start with? Do you want? Oh no, y'all! Before we go, hey Kimberly, hey Kimberly, hey Kimberly. Apparently, I'm having mouse issues, so I'm just going to do it old fashioned real quick. Hey Kimberly, thank you so much for coming in tonight. I know a lot of people are in Kojo's show. I know a lot of people are in Jack and Glenn. So like, thank y'all for tuning in. You know what? Before we talk about Hurricane K and Mavs and the foolishness, let's talk about little Chrissy, as Janice would say. Can we talk about little Chrissy?
Oh, I totally forgot. Where do we begin? So, basically Chris Williams, the second or the third, whichever one he is, from season 12, I guess he had a mental breakdown. That's what it seemed like. So there's so much, like, there's so many parts to it. I don't even know where to start. But he basically started this rant by saying Mercedes, aka the ex-fiance that was pregnant with his child, and that's why he didn't want to work things out with Paige. He says she lied about being pregnant. And that's weird because I don't know if you remember, during the season, when the season aired, everybody thought that either both of them were lying, or he was lying, or like people thought it was fishy. But he posted proof. He posted a little paper with a little wrist bracelet, basically saying she was in the hospital for a miscarriage. So now he's saying that she said there was never a baby, which is weird because I'm like, where did you get these receipts from then that you were showing earlier this year? And then we get into the fact that he posted the divorce from Paige. He posted the paper that said they divorced September, I think it was September of this year. And then 2 weeks later, he marries Mercedes.
Right.
And he posted the marriage license saying he married her and saying that he wanted Mercedes wanted him to marry her, and she was mad that he married Paige first, and yada yada. And then what happened? He apologized. I don't know if you want to call it a full apology. He did apologize to Pastor Dwight, saying he should have listened to him and all the stuff. And Paige, he kind of half apologized, I felt. Because do I have the receipts? Let me see. It might be on my email. But I might be able to read it. But basically, it was like, I'm sorry for the things I said or did, but I felt you had a lot of deceitful moments, type of thing. And
wait, is he saying that Paige had a lot of deceitful moments?
Yes. he felt like she was fake during some moments, but he apologized for what he put her through. But then, yeah, it was, yeah, that's what it was.
He's being fake himself.
And mhm. Mercedes then responded on her own Instagram, and she basically denied everything that Chris was saying. Chris later took everything down and said that he shouldn't have did that.
I didn't see the Mercedes response.
What are
I
your
saw
thoughts,
all
Crystal?
of.
I'll let
Woo!
you.
I didn't see the Mercedes response. I saw everything that little Chrissy said. And to me, he's a liar, and we all know this, right? But my question is: one, why are you bringing this out 6 months later? Two, he also put
Mhm.
in there that that production knew all about this. They knew that I was going back to Mercedes. Paige knew, and something else, and somebody else. Like they knew. But what he did also say, which was, I think, the worst, was that he went on the show to get back at Mercedes for cheating on him. So you're gonna ruin somebody's
Mhm.
life, treat this woman like just the black stuff you scrape off the bottom of your shoe because your girl cheated on you? What? Where they do that at? Where they do that at?
Right.
What sense does that make? So he admitted to doing that. So what did he think that we're gonna feel bad for him because Mercedes lied or whatever,
Right.
or allegedly lied? Um, Now, if she lied about having being pregnant or having a miscarriage, then like she's got her own issues. You know, to keep a man, she's got her own issues. But to me, you did this out of spite. You did this to be vindictive, and I also think well, and also it looked like he knew that she was pregnant. He spilled the beans at the honeymoon, and we all thought this too, that he knew before he got married. He knew this
Mhm.
before going on the show. Last thing that I have to say about this is Pastor Cal asked him at that barbershop, "Do you have any loose ends to tie up before you do this?" And he said no. He said, "Did he say maybe one, but no, I don't have any loose ends." And the whole time he's smirking with that Cheshire cat grin on his face, he knew he had that Mercedes was his loose end. So, it's one, either they didn't know until after, the wedding, the production didn't know until afterwards, but he knew the whole time, or when did they know? When did they find out? That's what I'm wondering. When did production find out? And also he really
Mhm.
did still admonish Paige of any wrongdoing. Like I
Right.
don't see where she. It sounded like she knew afterwards, but or yeah. And to me also, if this was the whole case the whole time, you still whispered in her ear, you still treated her like crap, and yes, you still do stuff like you're the kind of woman I'd fall in love with. You know what? You know that that's not true. So I just think him saying to um uh saying on there that I only did it to get back at Mercedes. Why would you go on a show and go through this whole upheaval to get
Yeah.
back at somebody? That's crazy. Hmm. And
Yeah,
Paige,
that's
go ahead. Go ahead.
but yeah, that's my whole thing with all of this. I was like, this doesn't excuse anything, Chris. I felt like it was like a, see, look what she did. She did this too. And I'm like, that doesn't excuse the fact that you went on national television and embarrassed Paige.
Exactly. And
That
can we
doesn't
keep the thing a
excuse that.
thing? Right. It doesn't excuse it. Can we stay on the one subject? How you treated her is the subject. How what kind of man you are is the subject. And you turning around, oh well, look what she did. You still went on a show to get back at your girlfriend for cheating on you. What does that make? What and that really does show that he's a narcissist. That literally proves that he's the man that we all said he was. Yeah. Yeah, little
I
Chrissy.
agree. And there's some people talking about this is them trying to extend their little 15 minutes of fame. And I kind of agree with that. That's because like it doesn't make any sense. Another thing I saw somewhere was that Johnny, he's trying to make sure Johnny doesn't outdo him. Because, you know, a lot of people made the comparison videos of Johnny and Chris. And then next thing you know, here comes all these screenshots and pictures. And so a lot of people feel like he just don't want to be outdone. He wants to be the worst match in Married at First Sight
I agree with
history.
that. I agree with that. He said, oh no, who's this guy? Who's this Johnny guy? Everybody's making comparisons. Let me bring this. I was like, stop puffing up your chest, you little bird chest man. Yeah. Mm-mm,
Mhm.
mm-mm. I agree with that. I agree with that. These, yeah. Mm-mm.
A
And so,
mess.
yeah, and then Mercedes claps back and says that everything he said was a lie. Yeah.
Yes, she said, I'll post my medical records and yada yada. I saw the screenshots. I don't follow her. So I was like, I don't know. Like,
Mm-mm.
I don't care that much. But
But you see
yeah,
how he
she was
wants us to care,
basically like,
though?
she was going back and forth with him. And the funny thing to me is Chris has had so many of these outbursts since all this year, really. And Paige has not responded once.
Right.
And I'm like, I don't know if he's trying to, if that's a part of his plot too, was to get Paige's attention or whatnot, but she is not budging.
I agree.
But Mercedes is. So it's ridiculous.
Ooh, girl, who do you want to start with? Let's start with the most boring couple. There's four of them.
I meant to ask you this. I'm like, do you just want to do a free chat? Because everybody just want to talk about Michaela and Zach,
Yeah,
because
you
that's
know
all
what?
that happened
I think so
this
too. I
episode.
agree. I agree. I agree. It's just, oh yeah. I do want to. Let's just start.
We can just run through the episode,
Let's just
whatever
run through it.
moment
Let's just run
pops
through
in
it.
your head, just throw it out there.
Let's throw it out there. First of all, I'm gonna start with, but I will end. We're gonna end on the craziness. Um, Ryan, I do want to start with that a little bit, sir.
Hmm.
So, did you really think because you told Dr. Pepper that you were gonna try, but you didn't share that information with Brett that she was gonna let you in her bed? So, and he's
Ryan
like,
is,
"Good.
go ahead.
Where they do that at? That's my new. Where they do that at, sir? So did you really think?
It makes me
So
so
and he's
mad.
like, I'm fine with sharing a bed. I'm good with sharing a bed. She's like, I haven't been in the bed with you in a month. Why would we do that now? And the funny thing is, the weird at certain points, Mr. Zach was the voice of reason. Zach was like, what would make you sharing a bed with her different than sharing a bed with her at the apartment?" And he said, "That's a good question." I'm like, "Yes, it is, you idiot. Like, I'm not gonna be laying next to you when I don't lay next to you for I haven't laid next to you for a month." And so I appreciate that Brett was like, huh? Share a bed with me? What? And so get the couch, get your butt on the couch. I'm so glad. And oh gosh, even though Johnny gets on my nerves too, Johnny was like, to the couch. That's exactly what you deserve. That's exactly what you deserve. And he's like, I am trying. I am trying. You're oh, and then he thought that sitting there and having a conversation was a blow up. He said, I didn't want to blow, I didn't, this is what I was trying to avoid, a blow up like this. I was like, sir, you about to see a blow up in about 20 minutes. Now that he saw, that was a blow up between Michaela and Zach. That you were having with your wife was a conversation. The sad thing is he doesn't know the difference because his family, they don't have conversations. They don't talk. They don't share feelings. They're not vulnerable. So he doesn't know what to say. He doesn't know what to say. So, oh, and I was really sad. Uh, Brett got that gift from all the other couples with Baxter stuff on it, and Ryan has. I bet you anything, Ryan has not given her anything uh, for consideration in this last month. Just something, just sweet. Just be a little sweet to her. That's it. That's all I can think of right now. Go.
Yeah. You know what? I don't even know where to start because he just irritates me. I'm like, I would have went off at him at least once by now. 'Cause and it's weird. Okay, you went on camera telling Brett that you can't sleep on the couch anymore because it hurts your back and your neck, and you don't want to go back home. And you sat there and there was filmed that you wanted to sleep in a separate room. So it's already been filmed. So I didn't understand why the front, like why go to the retreat and try to have this front and then say, well, I'm I'm trying to make this work. I'm like, since when? And that's when I'm like, I really want to call him the B word
Yeah.
because he's very much the B word.
He wants to keep up with appearances. He wants to keep up with appearances, and I
Mhm.
appreciate that. Bao is she's not even trying to keep up with appearances. Like, why? Why should we keep up with appearances? At this point. So yeah, he's like, well, I just want to keep up with the appearance that we're in a good place. Why? Why? Mm-mm.
I think he's slow. I really think he's slow because
Yeah.
that's the only thing. Because we all know you don't like that girl. So what was the point of going in that house and trying to pretend and then trying to tell all the other guys like he was putting up this front like after I met with Dr. Pepper, I decided I'm going to try now. You got 2 days left before decision
Hmm.
day. Now you want to try? Like I was just so like and it's like he kept saying it over and over and over to different people like I want to make it work and I met with Dr. Pepper and she told me to make it work and I'm trying to do that and now Brett wants to sleep in a separate room. What does that have to do with sleeping in a separate room? Like you can still try. Like, why is
Honestly,
that the end all be all? Then when he said, I was trying and you just made a scene, and she's like, made a
it's me.
scene?
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? Are you that conservative? Are you that like,
Like that's a scene.
because
They're
I
sitting
was
there
like,
next to each other by themselves. That's a scene.
no one was there. No one was there. So what are you talking about? Make a scene. But I was laughing because Ryan and Johnny look so stupid over there playing rock, paper, scissors over a bed. I was like, you look so stupid. Why did you even come here? Like y'all
Yeah.
both just look so dumb. But yeah, I agree. I'm proud of Brett because the first day Brett would have gave in to that and just been like, okay,
Hmm.
we can okay, let's share like she was like,
Yeah.
no. I think that Baxter brought some strength to her. Baxter, him leaving, it just brought out the boss in her because she was on it the entire episode. She was like, I'm not taking any more of this mess.
There's two things. Their conversation in the car. I do feel like he snapped at her. I say he snapped at her. And he snapped at her, and she said, "Don't. Why are you getting defensive? You don't have to get defensive." And he said, "I'm not getting defensive." It's like he didn't like he somebody holding a mirror up to his face, and his sister is saying,
Mhm.
well, where did she get that information? Because maybe we could just be friends. If you're telling me and then you make an excuse and you lie saying that I just need to have my own bed just the way I sleep, Just say, I don't want to sleep with you. Just say that. And she
Mhm.
even said, it hurts, that does hurt. Like he keeps saying it's because he has sleep issues. That's gonna hurt me. So that, and then he basically blamed her because he talked
Right.
about Dr. Pepper, and Dr. Pepper, he said he was going to try, and now she's over trying. So it's her fault. It's not her fault that she's done at this point. And I honestly think it's Bao that gave him the strength, or that, like when she's hearing Bao talk and she's hearing the other women around her, she's like,
Mhm.
oh, I am on the right path. I am not going to put up with this man. I'm not going to put up with this man treating me any kind of way, and I'm over it. So, and it's so funny.
Val been in everybody's ear. I
Yes,
was like,
he's in
Val
everybody's
just
ear. Talk. We
Val
have,
and Johnny this episode were in
yes,
everybody's ear. I'm like, if y'all don't take your own advice and sit down somewhere,
yes,
like,
I totally agree. I totally agree. But it's so funny because in the beginning when she first, I'm going back to Brett now. In the beginning when she first was married, she was saying, I'm not the adventurous type, I'm not the ranch type, but I'll try it. Right, right. She
Mhm.
was the type of person like with the canoe. I'll try it once, or with this, that, and the other. I'll try it once. It's not my style, but I'll try it because this is my husband. This is what he likes to do. So I'll try. At this point, he's not doing any trying himself. He's not putting in any effort. She stopped trying. And I don't blame her. And
Mhm.
I was like, you know what? She has stopped trying because he stopped trying a long time ago. She was in the beginning trying, but when you see that somebody else is not putting in any effort now he wants to try when it's like less than 2 weeks left to go. She's, why am I trying? Why am I going through this? Why you don't want to sleep with me? You don't want to have a conversation with me.
Mhm.
You don't want to communicate at all. So I'm not going to keep trying. And I can't. I don't fault her for that. She's like, no. She's like, I
Right.
don't like out loud noises. I'm not going to skeet. He's like, I kind of wish somebody else was a skeet shooted. No, no, I'm not skeet shooting. I don't like loud noises. How about that? You don't like me? Then you know what? Now I'm going to be back to myself. I wanted to try a month ago. I'm not going to do it no more. That's it. And
Mhm.
so I appreciated Brett. I appreciated Brett this season. She was like, why would you say that we haven't slept together in a month? Why what makes this different than that? And what did he say? I didn't want to cause a scene. This is not causing a scene. We got some people that'll show you a scene.
He got his scene though.
He
He
got his
learned what a real
scene.
scene was.
He got his scene. He got his scene. So that's all I can say about and I really feel like she's really stepping into herself. Like she knows herself.
Mhm.
He does not want that. He doesn't want a woman that knows herself and has a self identity. Not her
Right.
or Johnny. They don't want a woman that has their own self identity. That's all I can think of for now.
Mhm.
Who do you want to go to next?
Yeah. Let's I guess with Rachel and Jose, I don't have nothing for them.
Y'all,
Nothing.
when Rachel talked, I turned the sound down. So oh, everything's great. If we ever blow another blow up like that again, I'm just gonna oh, everything's great, and we can't have a blow up like that again. That's it. I can't. So I
You don't like her voice?
can't. Great. I feel like it was sound bites. I really feel like they took little pieces of her voice and spliced together a conversation because the whole show was about Michaela and Johnny and how Johnny's avoiding Bao. So I don't even think that was a full conversation. That was full of sound bites. Anyway.
Let's get into Merla and Gil. So okay. So I noticed, so yeah, Gil brought the dog because he couldn't find a sitter. And there's the team Gil is Dusty team. So that did not help their side at all. Because I kind of felt like he definitely he could have. It was a day. He could have took him to a doggy daycare, but whatever. My whole thing, the only issue I had with it, or that I could think of, is because I don't have a pet, but I just be high key wondering, do people with pets like do the nasty with the pet in the room? Because I kind of feel like they be doing stuff. So I'm like, what were they doing in that room with that dog just sitting there? That was what was going through my head. So I don't know. I hope people don't do that, but I'm just like, I don't know. I was like, unless y'all just not doing nothing, but
That dog has his own
that's all I
bed.
was thinking about.
Dogs have their own bed. They have their own crate. They put you. What you could do is you could. There is now. I don't put my dog to
But
bed.
are they in the room though? Are they in the
There's
room?
another room. Like I have a like. There's that apartment that they're staying in has two bedrooms. That's like what's his
But
name?
I'm saying, but at this retreat, they have one bedroom and the
Oh
dog was in the room. So that's what made me think, okay, so what if something happened? Y'all just gonna do that while the dog's just sitting there?
no, and like you said, it's 2 days. They don't do the nasty like or the dog just the dogs knows the dogs fall asleep. Dogs have sleep time. This dog right here is gonna go to bed at 10 o'clock, or she well now because stuff is happening outside this room.
I
But
hope they
she
do.
has
That's just
somebody has
on my
woken her
mind.
up. Like the dogs go to bed. Dogs go to sleep. That is
Okay.
hilarious though. But that's
I was
so
just
funny.
wondering.
That is so funny. No, I can't think of what I was about to say. My only issue, my issue was not the dog, although the sitter fell through. But then there are doggy day camps. But then doggy day camps are expensive. I'll be honest with you. I for overnights, I don't like the doggy day camp. I will do a daycare like for the day, but not
Mm,
overnight or for 2 and 3 days. They literally the boarding fee is it's
it's
super expensive.
expensive.
But for a
Mm,
day, yes. But besides that, and sometimes the dog is like very used to one person and stuff like that. So the sitter fell through. They might have been already on the road. We don't know. But that actually didn't bother me because dog Gil's dog is pretty much it just looks like he's self sufficient. Like that dog, go give him his dog bed and a bone. He don't look like he mess with nobody. But besides that, um, what did annoy me about that um, is the same thing that we've talked about with Gil. Is that I know that he has the one issue about her complaining and her moodiness, right?
mhm.
I just feel like Gil. I know that that's what you wanted to say, but you can phrase it different. Don't call her a big baby, or don't call her a brat, or stuff like that. Like phrase it differently. And I appreciated that she took it on the chin. She was like, "I receive it," but I said that the way you're phrasing it, it is hurtful. Like I was like, you can definitely phrase it differently to me. And also, I didn't think what she was saying was so wrong because she was saying I wanted to actually go horseback riding. I wanted to actually. I wish the horseback. I wish it was more faster, and I wish I could just go. Instead of having a guide do it. So he was like, "Let's just be happy and let's just have a good time." And I think that he is so numb to all of her complaints that it all sounds like a complaint.
Mhm.
It didn't sound like a complaint to me that this time. But that's not to say that 10 minutes before that she complained, or that morning at breakfast she complained, and all he's that's all he's hearing. But at the same time, I'm like, Gil, like pick your battles sometimes. I don't think it was that bad. And I think that
I
she was
agree.
mhm.
Mhm.
I
It
don't think
just
it was
feels like
that.
he's nagging her sometimes. Mhm.
And I think that she was before she's been in that. So now he like, I need to change this, or and you're not going to change it. But and even she said, I can't change this overnight. No, you can't. And I said, Gil, she's not going to be able to. This she's That's her personality. Somebody that like complains or finds the negative or finds the fault first, and instead of
Mhm.
saying he could have turned around and said, you know what, don't worry about it, I'll take you horseback riding another time, or he could have said something differently He could have said, "Look at this beautiful lake we're sitting in front of." Something else than the way. I do think, Monique, you have a point. I do think a little bit of that production does put the battery in his back a little bit, um, to always bring up the complaining, because he doesn't have to
It's
always
been
bring it up.
every
Yeah,
episode.
I do think that the constant, because this time she wasn't, that time she wasn't complaining. She just wanted to. She's like, I'm used to horseback riding. That's something that she really liked, because it is very, it's, you're far pressed to find something that she really likes that she's not going to complain about. So all she was saying was that I wish we were to, without a guide, and to get. She was like, let it go fast. She wanted to actually have a good time. I appreciate this one better than last season with Brianna. What's her name? What's her name? Just surprising him. He said that he was. He says he has a healthy fear of horses.
Oh, Vince, yeah.
Yeah, and just to get him on a horse by a surprise, like, and Gil's a big man. He's a big man. Like, if he
Those
moves,
thighs, child. You see them thighs? I was like, he can bust a watermelon. He
exactly,
can
exactly. And so,
he can squeeze some juice.
oh, yes, has a big butt to be on that horse. So I I thought, okay, Gil, just pick your battles. Don't always complain about it. It's that this time it wasn't that big a deal. Um, what I also thought was kind of cute was earlier in the episode, she wanted to be up in that house by herself, and I'm gonna agree with her on this. I don't like sharing the bathroom with several different people. Like, one person, that's one thing. One, or
Yeah.
but people you don't know, no. So I'll agree with that. And then she's sitting there upstairs on her phone. He let her do that because she's a introvert. And then when it was time for dinner, he went and picked her up, and they went downstairs to have dinner with everybody. But you could tell that she just wanted to spend time with Gil. It seemed like she didn't want to be, she could care less about everybody else. So I don't know.
Mhm.
We've heard rumors that they didn't make it, where I'm not surprised, but at the same time, I do I did appreciate this episode. Yeah, that's it. And
Mhm.
those wedges, I was like, that's unnecessary. Mirla, I don't know why you're wearing those silver wedges.
She,
That's
I don't
either.
know where she thought she was going.
I don't know
Because
where.
even at the very end, when they went to some farm or something, she had on flip-flops. I was
Yeah,
like, you're going to be in the dirt.
right.
Why? But, none of them were really dressed right because Johnny had on swimming trunks and cowboy boots. And I was like, what
And and then
is.
and I think that that's all that. I didn't even see Bao in shorts, but I don't think that she's a shorts wearer anyway. She had like a
She wore
sundress.
that long white dress to that farm. And I'm like,
It was like
where did
it
y'all
was a
think
white
you were going?
sundress. Yeah, it was a white sun. The only ones that were really dressed appropriate was Jose and Rachel. But I think,
That's true.
yeah, that's it. That's it.
Mhm.
So whew, that's all I got.
Yeah.
That's the three of them. Let's
Yeah. But I I don't know. I noticed Gil, he's always complaining about the same thing every episode. But then you see, I feel like he's kind of flipping the script on Marla and trying to just get, like, I feel like some men, they do that where it's just like, I'm gonna get you, like we talked about before on CMK with the when you date a man and they're like, I don't like a woman that wears makeup, I like a woman with natural hair, and you start changing yourself to be the woman that he likes, and then you wake up and you're like, wait a minute, who am I, what do I like? So that's how I kind of feel like with Marla, because it's like even this episode she's like, okay, I'm paying attention, I'm going to do that, I have to make changes in order for this to work. I'm like, so what is Gil, like Sharon is saying, like, why don't we see what Gil needs to work on? So I feel like she's kind of doing what Pastor Cal wants the women to do and take on the load, the weight, and the burden of the relationship so the man can be happy. And I just hope Merla doesn't lose herself or anything like that, because it just feels like now she's turned into this, okay, whatever change I have to make in this relationship, I'm going to do it to save this relationship. And it's like, Merla, I don't know.
I don't see that.
I think he's flipping the script on her.
I don't see that. I do think it's that one thing. It's the complaining. I think that, but now because she complained so much in the beginning, all he hears is complaining. So I don't think it's everything. I think that he thinks that his wife is pretty. I think that he thinks that his wife is um, intelligent and all these other things. It's that one thing, and that's the only complaint that he had with Pastor Keller, whoever he met with. But I don't think that she's changing everything about herself. I do think, but what's interesting is I do think that it's just that complaining and that negativity, because he does have a point. When you are negative, if you're at a party and you're sitting there and you're negative and you're complaining about everything, you're complaining about the food, you're complaining about everything, you're bringing everybody else down. So, and he like really wants his wife to be upbeat or just think optimistic, and instead of looking at the bad side. I think that that's really it. I don't um, but I do think that you can't look at everything as a complaint, though. You can't. It's not everything was a complaint. She was not complaining at that time, and you really need to pick your battles, though, too. And it's going to help him if he does want her to do better in that area, to not keep berating her about it every little thing. You need to really pick your battles in this situation with the complaining, because if you constantly pick at her, it's not going to work. Like, she is not the type that you need. If you want her to do something, do not constantly pick at Mirla. Could just let it go. Just say, hey, I would appreciate it if you thought about the optimistic side. This is a beautiful, oh, what is that, a pool, a lake, what that we're sitting next to. This is a fun thing we're doing with the other couples. Think of it like this. And or just turn it around. But I don't think it's everything. It's that one major thing. Um but I do wonder, and a lot of people are wondering about this, that he was so concentrated on getting a kiss or like liking, and does she like me, that he wasn't prepared to like her yet. He didn't like her yet, her herself, who she was. And then but he wanted that kiss. I think that he wanted to make sure that she liked him, like as a man, because she kept wanting to go to the fancy restaurants and get all of these upscale this, upscale that, upscale this, upscale that. He wasn't even sure if they liked each other yet. And now she's happy, and I you cannot tell me that nothing bothers Mirla. Like, she's like, nothing bothers me about my husband. I love him. He's great. He's patient. He's this. He's that. I just don't believe that. I don't believe. I think that there is something she's just not saying. That she's just learned how to pick her battles, and he keeps
I
picking.
agree.
Mhm.
Because every time I see Gil, I'm gonna take a rake or a cheese grater and just get all that stuff off his face. I'd be like, oh my goodness, Gil. Just
I want to know who does your eyebrows, Gil. That's what I want to know.
and I'm like, why don't they do the rest of your face? Why you only call people for your eyebrows? Why
I need to know who does your eyebrows. Impressive. Because the sad thing is, like, I bet you he's got a unibrow if he did not have electrolysis. He has got a unibrow. Mm-mm. Gil has got something else going on.
He did seem a little quiet then. He wasn't in his expert mode. I don't know if he had like gave his hat
He gave his
to
head the bow.
Johnny
He
and
gave his head
Val,
the
like
bow.
Shindy said, but I did notice that.
Yeah, he gave his head the bow. Mr. Johnny was like, "Oh, this is going to be a great weekend. It's going to be so much fun. My main objective is to avoid spending time with my wife. That's why it's going to be a lot of fun, because I just wanted to go." And he did it. They did it. They spent as little time as possible with each other, and then he noticed her having a good time. Then he wanted to have a conversation with her. what I appreciate is Belle's like,
Mm.
I'm full of ish. She's when at the last ITM when she was like smiling and saying, "Me and Johnny are on the same page. We're doing great right now." She said, "I'm full of ish." She actually said it. Did you see? Did you hear her say it?
Yes, that makes no sense though. It makes no sense because she literally had a pity party with Pastor Cal because why do I have to take things like that? Sounds like I'm just being a friend. That sounds like this,
That's
like she had, like she made such a big deal about it the last episode. So
I
how
think
are
that
you
that's
saying that now?
I think that she's faking it, and she's saying that she's saying to us that I'm faking this because I hate like when she was talking to him about how he had a good time and maybe we should keep it light. In her head is like I hate small talk. That's exactly what she's thinking to her.
Yeah,
Like
that's how I
she's like
took it.
she's like I hate small talk, and if that's how it's gonna be just for another week or so, I'm fine because I don't. And she's checked out too. The reason why it makes perfect sense to me because her and Brett they're checked out, and before we get into the coup de grace, I do want to have a conversation about Bao because I was like, yes, Bao, she really had some self-reflection when she was talking to those ladies and she said my parents have been married for like 50 or 55 years, but when in our early years we had my parents, my mother and father had some very dark times, and I saw my father talk to my mother horribly abusive, was verbally abusive to her. And I said to myself, I will never do that. And I noticed that that's what I've been doing. I've been letting somebody talk to me disrespectfully and be verbally abusive to me, and I'm sitting there taking it. And I will not do this to myself. And I really appreciated Bao just having that self reflection. And people are like, when did she had time to do the self reflection? When Johnny was at his own house because he liked to run away because he's a track star. So she is in that bed by herself, and
You
or
have a point, Crystal. Because even with that, every single episode you hear Johnny say, Bao decided to come over. Like he always is saying, Bao came over for dinner. He never just says, we decided to do this, or it's always Bao came over and we decided to go bungee jumping. Like, it's like I really don't think they live together. I think it's like almost like they're dating or friends. I don't think they're full on like living together. And
she came to a realization. She really, and she's been in that house by herself, or she's had in one bedroom and he's been in the other bedroom. You could tell when they were packing for the Dude Ranch that he was packing in another room. So they've either, if he hasn't left, he's in the other room as well, and or he's gone to his own place. But she's like, I'm not going to take this anymore. I'm not going to take you talking to me like this. I'm not going to take. And she was taking it, and I think um you get to a point where I'm not going to take this. I deserve better. I know my self-worth, and I she probably had a look in the mirror and said, I am my mother. This is exactly what I didn't want. And I appreciate that. And we talk about mental health and people living through trauma, especially young Black women. And Bao is somebody who's lived through trauma. Her mother was codependent for years while watching her father abuse her and treat her any kind of way. And she said, I'm not going to do that to myself. She saw herself being that person, and she said, I'm not doing this. And I appreciate that she's at the point. She said, if Johnny wants to go and spend as little time with me as possible, I'm going to enjoy myself. And she's always
yeah, she
she,
sure did. Her little short self grabbed that gun and was like, how do you do this? I was like, hold on, Bao. Like, calm down. Because I was like, please don't shoot your foot off or nothing like
That would have been me, and I was like, look at how little she is holding that big gun, and I was like,
yeah.
I would have been like, Ryan, you woke you. I know you don't talk
Where
a lot,
was
but
the
don't talk to
trainer?
me. There's no trainer.
It
That's my
looked like
point.
she just grabbed the gun and started shooting it. And then when she just accidentally fired it, she was like, "Oh," I'm like, "Where? Y'all
And
just
there's no
giving people
trainer. And Ryan's just standing there. I was like, Ryan, I know you don't talk too much, but you're gonna talk to me. You're gonna train me how to do this. Cause yeah, because that would have been me. I would have been like, okay, what's this? What's that? Like, you gonna talk to me. And he would look, she had a good time not worrying about what is Johnny doing and me talking to Johnny. She's checked out to the point where she's not going to put up with it. And honestly, that's what happens when you see your parents like in alcoholism or drug use, and you become either codependent and you have your issues growing up. And she's like, I told myself I would never do this, and this is what I've done. I'm not going to do this to myself. I appreciate her doing that. I was like, yes, Val, you know what? Johnny wants to be he and Ryan need to be happy in their pissed off world. They're pissed off about something. Let them be happy being pissed off. That's it. He
I
wasn't very
really couldn't even enjoy that moment because the elephant in the room is that Zach and Bao are allegedly dating. So the fact
I could.
that Bao is all in Michaela's face, taking eyelashes out her eye, giving her advice, and then she was sitting there peeking out the door, glued to the whole Michaela Hurricane K. She was that girl watched the whole. I said, this ain't no telenovela, but you just standing in the doorway, like give like
I don't think so.
you should at least look away. She did not hide. She was not coy. She was just like,
No, she
this
has
is such a
puffy
big
face
fight.
when
And I'm
she's
like,
upset. Val does puffy fish face when she's mad at Johnny, and when she's like,
and her face was stuck between that door. And she's like,
yes, she's like,
what? Well,
she does puffy fish face. I enjoyed it. I don't care if to me it's just a rumor until I actually see something on their on a ring on her finger. I believe that it might be true. If it is true, good for you, Bao, because one thing uh Zach won't do is talk to you any kind of way. He'll run away now. He will go to his own place. He will leave immediately, but he's not going to treat you any kind of way. So yeah, her trying to be like befriend Miss Michaela when all this is going on, and us knowing that her and Zach are allegedly dating. I don't care. I also know that Val was getting in the middle of of last week at the volleyball court with Brett. She was trying to relate. She's really Val needs friends, and she wants some friends. I didn't I didn't care about knowing the rumors until it's which it probably is true. Hey, good for you, Val. Right now, I don't think it was going on while they were playing hide and go seek with suitcase when they were playing whatever with that big ass suitcase. So to me, um I Val, she's another Gil when it comes. She wants to help. But I'm like, Val, stop trying to
she
give
was
advice.
like a night guard. I'm like, is she getting paid to be security too? Because it was like everyone that had an issue, there was Bao all in their face. I'm like, Bao, what? I hope you're getting paid for this. Because she
No.
was in everybody's business. And
And Gil
I
ain't
just
getting
think it's
paid for his
funny.
advice either. Gil and his
Right.
advice. So Val's another Gil. He wants to help her. He wants to give advice. And we're gonna get into advice. Miss Michaela trying to give people advice. I was like, who's listening to you? You need to stop talking. Like, so to me, no. I think that Val, she really just really want. I don't know why you're trying to help. Just worry about yourself. Stay in your room. Yeah, that was so
It's
funny.
but it's funny. I want to note that Bao got up, grabbed that gun. She like went for it. And where was Johnny? Over there hiding in the golf
Yes.
cart. Like talking about his hands are getting clammy. But if it was the other way around, it would have been Bao never tries, Bao doesn't do anything, that type of thing. So I thought it was interesting that he didn't have that to say when it was Bao who was doing something and he wasn't. So I did peep that. And I, like you said before, when he pulled her to the side, like she's clearly in her zone. She's clearly having fun. Why you got to pull her to the side and talk about the obvious?
Right.
It's obvious, like the things he was saying, like yeah, we already know that, she know that, like let her go and do what she needs to do. So I'm like, yeah,
I loved it. He just
but
wanted to sit
I
back and give
guess
commentary. He just wanted to sit back and
mhm.
give commentary. Now we're gonna hear people say that, oh, maybe Johnny and Brett should be together. No, Johnny, no, that's mm-mm. Good for Bao. I agree. Good for Bao. Zach has serious problems and bags he is bringing to the relationship, but good for Bao that like I said,
That's
he won't. At least he won't talk to you any kind of way. At least he won't like verbally abuse you. He will run though. The
he
one.
just goes, I gotta go. That's what he does. But that's this whole episode I was staring at Bao like, if these dating rumors are true, how do you sit here and watch this whole explosion and think I want next? Like that's all I was
Bao has cooked
thinking
herself
was,
a
how do you
gourmet
watch
meal.
all this unfold?
She's cooked herself a gourmet meal and she has sat there and watch it all unfold. She is just fine. To me, I can watch it. I don't have any problem with it, knowing the rumors and knowing that her and Zach might be together. Because one, Johnny is a jerk, and he is, for lack of a better word, I want to say something else, and she deserves better. I'm not saying that they're getting married, but to me, I hope, you know what? Good for her. Good for her. Get her somebody that's gonna be nice to her for a minute. Um, I can watch
Okay.
it. Gil, she just took over for Gil. Gil said, "I got enough to deal with Mirla. You take over giving the advice. That's it." And yeah, mm-mm. And Johnny just sitting over there watching her shoot a gun like the Cheshire Cat. And he's like, and
I
then
was like, I would not want to be out there. I would have like, I'm gonna go back to the room, because I was like, where are these trainers? Like, they should have had somebody present to teach her how to hold the gun, where to shoot it. Ryan taught just shoot in the air. I was like, child, what is this?
you
I
never know. Because
like,
around other people, Ryan gets very chatty. Like he don't chat to Brett, but he chat to everybody else. He probably told that trainer,
right.
"Oh no, I got it. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing." But so the trainer left. And Val was out there shooting a gun, and then Johnny's like, um, "I just really saw you having a good time. It was really nice to see you having a good time." Oh my gosh. Mm-mm. That's true. That is very true, Auntie. All D and good D. I know that for sure.
All right, so let's get into Michaela
All right.
and Zach. I'll let you start because my brain.
There's so much. There's so much, family. There's so much. Let's start from the beginning. So Michaela had moved out. This is their first time seeing each other since, I guess, for like 2 days, and um, you can see there already tension in the air. You haven't seen each other in 2 days, and she says she's 10 minutes away. They pack up, they leave. They go to this, I guess, this little goat farm, and I was like, did he just say she looks like a goat, or what did he say? She's the goat queen. I was like, what are you doing? This girl, you have this horrible sense of humor. You guys are already on thin ice, and you just want to slide across the ice, don't you? You don't care. You just want to slide across that ice, don't you, get Zach? So you could tell it wasn't a funny joke. It was a bad joke. So you guys are they're talking but she's doing most of the talking because he's really looking for this apology. He really wants this apology. He ain't getting no apology. She's like, I talked to your brothers, I talked to my sisters, and I know what we need to do next. And da, 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 da. So they go, they get there, and they're like, everything's great between us now. You know, we've had a couple of hiccups, but everything's fine. We want to start with love, or we want to get back to the love, or where, I don't know what she said. She said something about love. And she's like holding court with the other ladies, and she's giving advice. I'm like, what are you doing? Giving it what? Nobody should be taking your advice. You need to just sit there and eat your chicken and pasta. So so she's trying to give advice, and the sad thing is they don't even go day by day. They go minute by minute. Minute by minute. Right now, at this minute, we're doing just fine. We're keeping up a facade for everybody. That's it, minute by minute. Um, yes, there is a song called Minute by Minute. Uh, um, then I'm gonna move on to the conversation, like at the in front of the dude ranch, in front of the house. So I guess they had a conversation the night before about in bed, how maybe we should get divorced and start all over again. So this is what I said in the chat when on Kimberly's show. I was like, "Oh my God, I'm worried about myself. I'm actually understanding what he's saying. Not that I'm agreeing with him, but what he was saying in his convoluted mind. Go with me now. He said that maybe we should get divorced and then date, because she's not the person that you marry at first sight. In order for him to get used to her mood swings or her, then I'm gonna have to date you. I'm going to have to actually date. We're gonna have to start all over again. So I was like, wait, you're saying that you guys weren't good for married at first sight, but you guys need to date. But I absolutely get Michaela's point. Michaela's point is, whether we're together tomorrow or next year or 2 years from now, I'm still going to be Michaela. So I hear what he's saying is that he ain't good for married at first sight. He's not good to, like, she's not good to be married at first sight. That's what he's saying. She's not good to be married at first sight. She's somebody that he needs to date and get used to. I don't think it's right. But I was like, okay, I'm actually deep in what he's saying, and it's freaking me out, because I was like, because this was another bee analogy from several episodes ago. I said, oh Lord, I actually get what you're saying. So, but to Michaela's point, I'm still gonna be Michaela. So she flips out. She gets attacked by that bee from a couple months ago. That the swarm of bees started attacking her, and she started like freaking out and running into the camera and everything. And she gets mad and she flips out and then comes back down, and she's like, I don't. And so she gets really frustrated, because to her point, I'm still going to be Michaela. I'm still going to be me, whether it's a year from now or 2 months from now. So because she flips out, her reactions is what he hates. But he doesn't understand that he double talks her, or he double talks, period. I believe that whether he in a relationship with Bao, Michaela, whoever, he been double talking. He's understanding himself, and he needs to stop that. Okay, that's one. So, but her abandonment issues, she does this thing where she's like, fine, if you want to go, just go. Because he doesn't like that she flipped out. So she's like, just go. That's not what she wanted. She wanted to sit there and actually understand him and actually be with her husband. But it's not right that she flipped out. It's not right that she got attacked by a swarm of bees. Um, and then after the flip out, and after this miscommunication, and after that horrible whatever on the little bench, he's stewing all night, unhappy, frustrated, doesn't know what to do, doesn't know how to communicate with her. He's pouting at dinner like a little boy. Uh, so after that, so they're sitting there in and they just have another miscommunication. So when she flips out, she's the type of person, once she gets mad, she's over it. She's like, what did I do now? So they're in bed. They're like, what did I do now? He's still mad at you from 2 hours ago, girl. He hasn't forgotten what happened 2 hours ago. And she's like, I thought everything was fine. We're laughing, we're joking, everything's fine. I do want to go back to something though. I'm missing something, y'all. They had that little game every season. They play this little game with each other, and she said, "I am Queen Petty." She admits it. She and Gil. One of the things that Gil did say, he said, "What's her name, Michaela? She's the type. She will take the batteries out the smoke alarm." She said, "Yep, I sure am." The funny thing is, I did hear that so when she moved out, she took her seasonings. Those were actually her seasonings. She bought those seasonings. So she was like, I'm taking the seasonings. I'm just gonna go and I'm taking the seasonings. So she says, I'm Queen Petty. She gave a million examples of what she would do that's petty. Petty this, petty that, petty this, petty that. And she kept grinding it into the ground of how petty she is. So they have this miscommunication. Not it's not I call it a miscommunication because she doesn't hear what she says. She only hears what she wants to hear. She says one part of it, so she hears a little piece of what he's saying. She's like, "Fine, if you want to go, just go." So he's like, I'm gonna go." I mean, so he knows that that's not what she really wants. So she's like, "Yeah, just go," And so and he's like, "No, we're gonna ride together in the morning. We're gonna ride together. We came together. We're gonna ride back together." She's like, "Oh, I thought you meant tonight." No, he's like, "We're gonna ride together back in the morning." She's like, "Oh, okay, that's fine. I'll ride back with you." And then she changes her mind immediately and says, and then she says, "You know what? Never mind. I'll call my sister." That sister, this is not the first time Michaela has done this. That sister has had calls from Michaela in the middle of the night with several different relationships. That sister is like, oh God, what's going on now? What did Michaela do now? Like she knows the drill. She absolutely knew the drill. So that flip out, he's like, instead of going back and forth about this, I'm just gonna go. Oh, I do want to take something. So then she finally mentally calms down and she's like, Zach, I think you should leave in the morning. He's like, why'd you say that? He said, I think you should leave in the morning. It's like almost midnight. You should leave in the morning, or it's 11 o'clock at night. Just leave in the morning. He's like, okay, I appreciate you saying that. It sounds like you're worried about me, but I'm still going to go. I think it's just best that I leave. So mentally, he's already left. He's like, I'd rather just leave the situation, just leave. So the suitcase, this back and forth with the suitcase is so interesting. So, and I know I'm being long winded. Um, I was talking to another podcaster and he said, didn't you guys hear when they closed the door after she brings the suitcase back in and they close the door? He, she pushed him and he said, you're going to push me on the bed. So I think that there was something physical that happened. Um, and so finally he gets downstairs and Counselor Bow and Camp Counselor Ryan tried to diffuse the situation. As soon as he sees Michaela coming down the stairs, his blood started to boil and he said, I'm leaving. I'm leaving. This whole thing, Michaela's volatile. I don't excuse Zach and his double talking. I don't excuse Zach and his lack of communication skills. I don't excuse him just wanting to leave at every second. But at the same time, she's very reactionary. She's volatile, and her doing it, it's not right. It's I don't excuse. I'm not going to say the reason why she acts like this is because he acts like that. I'm not going to say that. So that's it for now. I'm sure I got more to say. I've taken up. I yield my time. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay, I now that you broke down the beginning, because That's why I said last night I need to rewatch the episode because I wasn't getting what they were both reacting to. I didn't get where it's coming from. But if he's talking about you, we need to get divorced, then date, I would have had the same, not probably not the same reaction, but I I seriously thought that scene she was getting attacked by a bug or something, but to know that nothing was attacking her, that was just her reaction, and she walked away, then she came back, and it was like, okay, then Zach is just like, yeah, I can't do it. I can't do it. And he's like, yeah, he did his little thing and then leaves. And I'm just like, I was kind of annoyed with both of them because it's just, yeah, but that it doesn't make any sense. Zach never makes any sense to me. I don't know if he mumbles or what. It's just I never comprehend the like what the message he's trying to send or the words he like. I just never
So
get
two
it with
things.
Zach. So,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
are you saying something?
I was gonna say, well, two things. Like you said, the words that he says and how he says it. But everybody's talking about the relationship or the alleged relationship between him and Bao. But you see when she flipped out and he's just sitting there with his hands like this. Just think of how Bao reacts when Johnny has a flip out. Bao is like,
Mm-hmm.
"Why are you getting upset? Come back to bed." Like, and I said, "Oh my goodness, that's exactly how Bao reacts." So you understand what I'm saying? And you're right. The way he talks, or the way it's not a mumble, but it's a fast talker. Oh, this is what he said. That was the second thing that he said. I did not think that marriage was going to be all hearts and rainbows and flowers. I knew that marriage was going to be difficult, but I didn't. But it's even more difficult with you, and that is hurtful. Like he was saying some crazy stuff, and so
Yes.
everything translates to her as you're a bad person. I hate you. I don't like you. You're ugly, and just because he doesn't talk to her, he's not. It was hurtful, but because she has issues, she's volatile. She has self-esteem issues, and she has yeah, she has a control issues and all kinds of other issues. She translated in her head differently. So yeah, yeah. Mm-mm. That's all. Those are the
I
two.
don't know. I just feel like if you don't like the girl, just say you don't like the girl. Like, what are you talking about divorce and then date and then no, like I think he I feel like I don't know if he has a little bit of Ryan in him. Like he doesn't want to be the bad guy or he doesn't want to hurt her feelings or whatnot. But that completely makes no sense. And he's been doing all these things all season, the whole, well, I canceled movie night because I didn't want to get a TV, and I did this because I didn't want to do that. Oh, I fell asleep with the dog. Like he's been showing like little signs that he don't really want to be around her. If you don't want to be around her, just say you don't like her. And I think he keeps coming back because of his whole, maybe it's because he idolizes marriage. I don't know.
Sharon, I don't think
Maybe
he
the
knows
ting
that.
is tinging. I don't know. But it's like, it's just like, just say you don't like her. It's like, I don't know if he's playing with her or what, because even for him to get mad, was it last episode? Because she would say no on decision day, then this episode, you're you're saying you do want to get a divorce but date app, it don't make sense. Like
No,
that
because
doesn't make any sense.
you're right. It doesn't make any sense because after you get divorced and you date again, like that's only happened when people have been divorced for like 10, 15 years and then they see each other again and they're different people. If they, got married when they were young and then but for them to divorce and start to date, that doesn't make any sense because all you're going to remember is who she was 6 months ago. You're not going to be able to do it. For him to even suggest that doesn't make sense. But to him, in his convoluted mind, it made sense. And to him, he's saying you're the type of person that needs to date. You're not good to be married first sight, not knowing you and getting to know you after the wedding is not good. But he didn't say it as not good. He said marriage is difficult with you. Like, and I was like, you are being hurtful. But there were so many things that he said that was just like it didn't make any sense. But at the same time, she flips out. And so, yes, it was just a lot. It was a lot. I think that, um, oh, and a lot of people are saying, okay, and Sharon said that he knew exactly what he was doing. I don't agree with that, Sharon. So a lot of people are like, what did she say on there? He knows I have abandonment issues. That doesn't mean he knows how to deal with it. He just learned that you have abandonment issues when you took your IKEA bags out the house. He knew that like you were already 2 weeks
But
in.
there's certain things he should know not to say. So, I'm not blaming him in any type of way at all. I'm just saying, like that bedroom scene, if you know, because it's like, it's almost like she was being led by her emotions. She couldn't
Mhm.
even logically like put together what he was saying. Like, and if he says something to her, like, oh, well, if you're not gonna ride home with me, then I'm gonna leave now. That's something that's going to set her off. And I feel that part of him knows that. But then he kind of, I think, as far as what Sharon means, is he knows exactly what he's doing because he knows she's going to react like that. I think he kind of pokes the bear a little bit with her, but that's what I sense with them. The whole I wanted to touch on when they're playing the game, whatever game. It was the the one, who's the pettiest or whatever.
Mhm.
And she is just like, she is gawking over the fact that she is petty. And I
Yes.
feel like it's kind of due to social media. I feel like social media makes petty funny instead of realizing that being petty can be toxic. So I think they kind of make light of being petty. They make light of being the toxic girlfriend. They make it to where it's like, if you're petty, if you're the toxic, crazy girlfriend, that's cute. So it's like, even she just kept rambling on and on and on about how petty she can be. And Zach is just sitting there getting turned off and just disgusted. He even said, I don't like that. And she couldn't even pick up on it because she thinks it's so cute. And I'm like, whew, girl. I think she thinks reacting, like, I part of me feels like her reactions are just her emotions and she doesn't know how to control them. But then another part of me thinks she thinks that stuff is cute. She thinks it's cute to react like that and do that stuff. And I'm just like, yeah, no. Like, she couldn't even pick up on the fact that Zach was just completely like, no, that's not it.
Okay, I agree with you. She did not pick up on the fact that he wasn't feeling that. But do you think that she's doing that because of social media? Is that what you're saying? That
I'm saying it influences our lives. It influences
true.
our opinions. It influences how we view things. So if there's memes about being petty and everyone's making light of it and making it funny and that sort of thing, I think that's why when that topic came up about being petty, she kept going on and on. She was doing the chicken head laugh with a and I was like, child, please stop laughing like that. But I think she, like, it plays a part. I think it plays a part in how we act in relationships and things of that sort. So if you are looking at memes that you think it's funny to be petty, and you to hear stories about the crazy girlfriend doing this or that, and you think that's funny. When you do it in a relationship, you're not going to see how it's affecting the other person.
You're right. Social media does run our lives, and they make petty funny. But I don't think that that's why she uh is being petty. Though I
I
you
think,
think,
and I think it's a
you think
100%. I think it plays a part.
in
I
her
think that's
pettiness,
when she
like
was
she's
sitting there going on, like on and on and on about how petty she can be. That's because she thought it was cute. She thought, like, acting like that, she doesn't see a problem with it
okay.
at all.
Okay, I'm with you now. I don't, but I was like, are you saying that she got that from social media? But she doesn't think it.
No,
She thinks
not that
it's
she
cute.
got it. It encourages it, is what I'm saying. It
Mm,
encourages people to certain memes and things like that. People like Michaela, that like fuels her. Is that's what I'm saying. It's
yeah,
like people like her. It's gonna like make her not want to change her ways. Is like what I'm saying. But yeah, I was just like, I see, because she was going on and on. Like, she really thought that was cute. And I was just like, girl.
yeah, and it wasn't cute. It wasn't cute. It wasn't funny. Like it was just all bad. It was all bad. And then she goes into Bao's room, and I guess she couldn't sleep, so she ended up calling her sister. But okay, so this is the weird thing is you guys have had this fight, right? And now you're worried. Now you're playing the worried wife mode and saying, "Come back to bed." And now, is that why you went through the house like Sherman went through Atlanta, because he went off in the Texas night on the dark Texas road? I was like, and that's why he was. And honestly, he's like, I appreciate you saying that, but I'm still leaving, because now it's like, still why? Um, yeah, now you're playing the nervous wife. Like now you're worried. So you've already blew up. You've already told him to leave. You already let leave. Just go. And so he's like, I'm really gonna leave. I don't want to leave. We're leaving together. I want to make sure you're getting home safely. I want to make sure you. The time for her to do that was earlier. I think they both. Like you said. I'm mad at both of them. I'm mad at both of them. But she's volatile. She is volatile, and what he says, his lack of communication doesn't excuse, or his lack of proper communication, or being or clear communication doesn't excuse you flipping out like this, and like flipping tables and or flipping benches and stuff like that. And it was like I
Did
was
they
like,
show that part? I think I missed that part.
no, she flipped
I don't
benches
think
that
they
they were.
actually showed her walking over the bench on the show. Did they show it on the show?
They showed her flip the bench. She went through the foosball table. She for some reason that foosball table was not bothering her. She had to push the foosball table. She went through. She went through there. She did. She actually threw a wine glass. She threw a wine glass.
She had right witnessed that. She was like, I
Yeah,
saw it. I was looking through the window. I saw it. I was like,
exactly.
what? No.
Listen, she must have throw that wine glass good, because Brett saw it from down at the bottom, and she saw it upstairs. She threw a wine glass. She's volatile, and honestly, I think what Zach is thinking is, even if I did stay in another room, it would not have been good. It would have been a fight the rest of the night. Like he's like, or oh, where's he sleeping? Oh, let me bother him. Let's it would have been more and more and more and more and more. And he's like, I just need to, remove myself from the situation. I don't agree with him leaving, but when you're already in a toxic situation, I think that's he's fight or flight. He's like, and and to your point, we were both talking before this. They're kind of similar. They deal with situations differently when they have abandonment issues, or when they feel like they need to leave. She gets volatile and flips out, and he leaves and he runs. Like they're both feeling the same thing, but they're reacting to it differently. So this whole episode was a trip. It really showed me that one, they cannot be together. They cannot be together. Um, Neither one of them are going to be able to communicate. Neither one of them can clearly communicate, and uh, yeah, neither one of them can clearly communicate clearly and well, and um, yeah, they just need to separate. And the sad thing is, the whole cast, like this whole cast has issues. This whole cast, I don't know. There's not one of them that I think that is salvageable. I'm sorry. It may be possibly Gillen Mueller, but we all know, if we're listening to the rumors, that they have their own issues and they're not. They're probably not going to
Very.
work either. But I mean, I'm like, throw the whole cast away. Throw the whole cast away. Like this whole thing, I just don't see it. It's just really, it's frustrating and it's sad. Like the double talking communication with him, and she only, even if she only listens to half of what he says, she only hears what she wants to hear.
Yes. Because even when I was listening, like the whole bedroom fight, I'm like, how are you not getting that? Like, how are you? And he even clarified, and she said, oh, I get it. And then she blew up again. I'm like, what?
Because she was already mad.
Like,
Because she was already mad. She was already mad, and and he was like, "This is too hard," and so in her head, everything he's saying is translating to, he hates me, my husband doesn't love me, like, why are you upset now? My husband doesn't love me, I'm out of here, like, I'm just kicking him out. This is a self-preservation to her. It's self-preservation. So I was like, I don't see, and I'm not that, and see, this is the thing, that's why I'm glad that we do review the shows, because I'm not petty. Like, I could not do that. I'm not going to take the
a
battery.
lot of energy.
Yes, it takes a lot of energy to be that person. That's a lot of energy. I think they both have
Because
a chemical
to be
imbalance.
petty, you got to be strategic. You
Yeah.
have, like, that takes strategy. Like Gil said, you're vindictive. Like, that takes a lot to be like that.
Yes, like, don't you have a
So
job?
no, me.
Yes, it takes a lot of energy.
Hmm.
Yeah, I
That's,
agree. I
yeah.
agree, Cindy. I hope that her family encourages her to get some help, because there's no way. And I'm sorry, but like I said about her sister, there's no, her sister has seen this before. Her sister was true to this. Her sister was not new to that call in the middle of the night and said, "Come get me." Her sister, no, I'm like, "What are you all doing now?" And so her sister just came and got her. Mm-hmm. Yep. This episode, I was, like you said, I was frustrated with both of them. Him and his double
Mhm.
conversation, and then her being attacked by a bee. Mm-mm. Yeah, and
I I
she
I
wanted him to
kind
climb
of
high.
I kind of relate, not relate, but she's kind of the reason why I control what I feed into. Because I will be like Michaela, because once you get me riled up, it is hard to calm me back down. So that's why I'm very big on like choosing what I give my energy, time, or what I feed into. And she just seemed like she just feeds into every little thing with him. I do agree. I do feel like he's like poking the bear with her, because like at this point, I feel I just feel like certain things, yes, she needs to listen. Yes, she needs to comprehend. But the whole like, well, if you're not gonna write back home with me, then I'm leaving right now. The word leave, the action of leaving, that sets her off. So the fact that he does that, and yes, so I was annoyed by the whole just go, bye, bye, bye. And it was annoying. It was annoying to watch, but I kind of get it if that's what her issue is, and you just sat there and said, "What do I need to do to make you feel more secure?" And then you say things like, Well, if you're not going to do this, then I'm going to leave. Well, if you're going to do this, then I'm. So, yeah, I don't. Both, I'm just tired of seeing both of them. I'm tired. Like, literally, it was like draining to
Yeah,
watch this
yeah,
episode
I agree.
because it's like, what are y'all even really like
What's the
fighting about?
conversation about? Yeah, what was the fight about? I was like, this is just a stupid. This is just stupid. It's just stupid. It's stupid. But besides that, going back to what you just said is so interesting. You said that you think that he's poking the bear. A little,
Mm-hmm.
I may agree with you on this a little bit, just because she got into bed with her little polka dot pajamas that she's been wearing for a month. She got into bed
Crystal.
and he's on his phone. He goes to put his phone down. All he had to do is have a good night's sleep, and they're going to talk about it in the morning or whatever. But why did he have to? I will. I'll give you that a little bit. I still think that she's still volatile. I think that she's still crazy, and I think that, but at the same time, and I think that the double talking at this time of night is not necessary.
And
Oh,
she was drinking. She was drinking. So
I'm not gonna excuse
I'm
that.
not
I'm
going to
not gonna
give her
excuse
a
the drinking.
pass. I'm saying that she already has a temper. She's already emotional, plus the
But
alcohol. It wasn't a good
but,
combination
but
to.
Misha, hasn't she said that she's gonna work on that? That hasn't she said she's gonna try? And that's what and
Yeah.
so it's her saying, I'm going to work on my temper. I'm going to work on my reactions. I can't just pop off like this. So he's not expecting the pop off. He doesn't want to see the pop off. That's the main thing that he's making sure. That's one thing he's checking that she doesn't do. Like her popping off this morning, to him, they were having a conversation about marriage and how hard it is. They were having that kind of conversation. That when he was fine to sit there and have the conversation until she popped off. So the pop off is what he doesn't like. Him
But he
the
does
bear.
things to
I
that
don't know.
word.
I'll give you that a little bit because he did not have to. He could have just went to bed, but he's wanting to just have this conversation so he can feel better about it. I know that he's not. That neither of them are good at communicating, and they're not going to communicate. They don't communicate the right way. They don't listen to each other. But
They
she really
don't.
doesn't listen. She really does not listen. She only heard. She literally had two. She heard two out of the five words he said. So she did not hear anything he said. Um, but literally, I think that as soon as he started talking, she got mad. Like she started seething in her head. Right, but before she said just go, she was like, "Well, what's wrong now? What's the problem now? Why are you mad now?"
Yeah,
She,
I would
she's
feel the
already
same
mad.
way.
She was
Mm-hmm.
already mad
Because
though.
I understood.
Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I understood what she was saying because it's like y'all just had fun, you're laughing. You can see they're having a good time, but Zach isn't because he's annoyed by her thinking like the pettiness is cute. But it's like you're supposed to be at a couple's retreat. I think maybe that's it too. Like you're supposed to be at a couple retreat, you're supposed to be fixing things. We just had a good time with all of our friends and now I come in here and you still look irritated or mad from something. So
Hmm.
I
Okay.
understood. I understood her
So,
point
but you're
to
right.
that, like, because I would have did the same thing.
So
Like,
two
what is
things.
it now? Like,
So two things. You're right. Sharon F did remind me of this. She's the one that says, "Shut the f up and let me talk." That's when she started cussing at him again. She cussed first, but also when they were downstairs, and I now that I think about it, I don't consider it poking the bear. What I do consider is that he doesn't get over things. So like I said earlier, she gets over things so quick. After she popped off earlier, she's done. It's out. She's done. She's no longer angry about it anymore, and she's done. He's still mad about something from 2 hours ago. So when you have somebody that, and you guys don't deal with your anger the right way, he deals with his anger and he can't get over things quickly. And I think that's what you mean by poking the bear. He really wanted to keep talking about it, she wasn't trying to talk about it anymore. She was over it, done and gone. Once he brought it up, she had gone from 0 to 100 quick in that bedroom in those blue pajamas. She went from, "What are you mad at now?" And, "My husband hates me. This is all a lie. I'm done. Get out." So she goes from 0 to 100 too quickly. That's what I think. I think it's not that. So she pops off. She's mad. She's over it, and he doesn't get over things quick like she does. So they don't deal with they don't deal with their conflict. They don't deal with conflict the same way. So that's what I think. And you called it poking the bear. I don't think it's poking the bear though. I don't. Other people might think because she did. She told him to shut the f up. Let me talk. Mm-mm. So this was so interesting. This y'all. There's something else that me and I were talking about. I don't think I can do another season. I don't think I can do this again. We were talking about this. I'll see who the cast of characters are next season, but this is a lot. This is a lot. I just feel like two of these women were abused or verbally abused. Johnny's another one told his wife to
Right.
get the f out of the house and threw the ring at her. I'll throw this ring at you. Bow Johnny. I'm sorry, that was Jose. Bow Johnny's talking to her any kind of way, and then the only black couple is just like crazy, and then you have the other couple that don't talk at all. So this is just throw the whole cast away. So, and it does. This is draining for
Right.
us because we like the happy couples. Mm-mm. It's draining. I agree, Sharon. It's just a lot, but I mean, it's just a lot. Go ahead, Misha. You go. Y'all, I'm here by myself and I got my wine glass. We were black when I did this. This is just a lot, y'all. Go ahead.
It
We need
is.
therapy, Chindy. We need therapy after seeing these. We need therapy after this last two seasons. We need to suing.
Woo. Uh-oh. I'm curious to see if
Yeah.
people really, if anybody had.
Yes. Suing Lifetime. That's interesting. That's interesting because we guess for our therapy bill. This is a lot to deal with. But just
Mhm.
throw the whole cast away because this is actually like a study in interpersonal communication, and ooh, a lot of these couples need all these couples need help, all of them. Mhm. Yeah, go ahead,
Mhm.
Nisha, you end it. I've talked enough, y'all. Go ahead, Misha.
I'm done. I don't have nothing to add.
I have
I'm
nothing to
tired
add.
of the show.
I'm tired. I'm retired. This is just stupid. I put a W in stupid.
Right.
Stupid. But this was a lot of fun, y'all. Thank y'all so much for joining us tonight. This was a lot of fun. Um, yes, tomorrow night is me and Chris Natha. I hope you guys can join. I really want to bring some people onto the show and get a couple of different people to come on with me. We're talking about the challenge of forgiveness. Um, yeah, and then I'm going to be bringing the men's panel back. I feel like sometimes I suffer from analysis paralysis, or I just get in my head sometimes, and I get in my head sometimes. That's the answer. So, but these guys, they're all for having like 10 episodes. They want in. So as long as they're in, I'm in. Let's talk about it. So let's do it. And so yeah, there's more to come from me. Thank you guys. Um, yeah, and watch Our Kind of People. Go ahead, Mish.
Yeah, we're doing our Ready to Love live this Sunday. So make sure you tune in for that. And yep, that's all I got.
Nisha always reminds me it's the CMK After Dark, y'all. It's Friday nights is CMK After
Yeah.
Dark. I thought that's what she was going to end on. We are going to be talking about red flags tomorrow night. So that's it. Yeah, y'all please join us tomorrow night. Thank you.
Thanks.
Pray for us being ready